welcome back to the deep dive. You know, today we're going to be looking at the future of luxury e-commerce.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about a world where even like the ultra high net worth individuals,
All right, the ones with all the money.
exactly, they're demanding even more.
Yeah, they want the white glove treatment,
Yeah.
but online.
Yeah, it's not just about, buying expensive stuff anymore.
So true.
It's a whole different ballgame.
It's like they want a personalized experience.
Yeah, so.
And they want to actually engage with the brands.
And feel a connection.
Yeah, like an emotional connection, even though it's all digital.
It's kind of wild when you think about it.
I know it's a lot to ask.
Well, some brands are actually like stepping up to the challenge.
For real.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at this Business of Fashion video.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it features some experts from Saks Fifth Avenue
Nice.
and also this agency called Morning.fyi.
Okay, I've heard of them.
Yeah, they specialize in luxury trends,
Mm.
and they've got some super interesting insights.
I can't wait to hear this.
Oh, and before we forget, big shout out to our sponsor for this deep dive,
Oh, yes, definitely.
the clarfit.ai.
Now, that's a cool name.
It is, and they're all about using AI to help these fashion brands create these like crazy personalized experiences.
Yeah, the ones that keep customers coming back for more.
Exactly. And just so everyone knows, it's spelled CLOUTFIT.ai.
Okay, gotta make sure we get that right.
And they were actually founded by some like big names in fashion tech.
Oh, wow, so they know what they're doing.
Yeah, we're talking former CPO and CTO of major fashion platforms.
No kidding. So if you're in that world, you should definitely check them out.
Absolutely. All right, so back to our deep dive.
Let's do it.
Okay, so one thing that really stood out to me in the video was this whole emphasis on customization.
Oh, yeah, everyone's talking about that these days.
And both experts were like super adamant about it.
It's the be-all and end-all.
Totally. They were saying that today's luxury consumer, they're not interested in mass-produced trends.
Makes sense. They want something unique. Exactly.
They want to express their individuality.
So true.
But it makes you wonder, right? Like, how does a brand like Saks Fifth Avenue?
Yeah, with a million different designers.
I know,
Yes.
right? How do they cater to all these different personal styles?
That's a good question.
It's a tough one.
Well, they actually use that to their advantage.
What do you mean?
They use their multi-brand platform as a strength.
Interesting.
Yeah, they curate all these different options,
So it's like having a personal stylist, but online?
Exactly. And it goes even further than that.
How so?
They're trying to make it a more interactive experience.
What do you mean?
They want the customer to have a say,
Like in what they see and buy.
Exactly. So it's not just about giving them a bunch of choices.
It's about actually giving them a voice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a huge change from the traditional luxury retail model.
Big time. The old days of brands dictating trends are over.
So now it's more about a two-way conversation.
Exactly. Luxury consumers want brands to actually listen to them.
Respond to them.
Adapt to their feedback.
It's a whole new world.
It really is.
And that's where all this data comes in, right?
Definitely.
The video talks about this data service exchange.
Oh, yeah. You give me your data and I give you a personalized service.
Exactly. And consumers seem to be okay with that trade-off.
As long as they get what they want?
Yeah, like tailored recommendations or stylist assistance.
Exactly. And Saks Fifth Avenue, they're taking this whole thing to another level.
Really?
Yeah, with something they call customer DNA.
Okay, hold on. What is that?
So imagine a digital fingerprint
Okay.
of your style preferences.
Interesting.
So Saks is using data science to analyze everything.
Like what?
Your past purchases,
Okay.
your browsing history,
Got it.
even your social media activity.
Wow. They're really getting to know you.
Yeah, and it's all to understand what you love,
Makes sense.
what you might be interested in,
Okay.
and even what you might want before you even know it yourself.
Whoa, that's crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's next level personalization.
But doesn't that raise some privacy concerns?
It definitely does.
Like, are people really okay with brands knowing that much about them?
It's a valid concern.
So how do they address
I think
that?
transparency is key.
Okay, so it's not just about gathering data.
Right.
It's also about being open about how you're using it.
Exactly.
Lydia Pang, the expert from Morning FYI,
Yeah.
she actually talks about showing the edges
Interesting.
and embracing a little human friction.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's about not trying to create this perfect but impersonal facade.
Right, acknowledge that there are actual people behind the algorithms.
Exactly, and that those people are making choices about how that data is used.
It's about being real.
Yeah, and building trust.
Which is super important in any relationship.
Especially in the luxury space.
For sure.
So how is Saks actually putting all of this into practice?
Well, let's take their email newsletters, for example.
Okay.
They're not just generic blasts anymore.
So what are they doing?
They're tailoring them to individual preferences.
Based on that customer DNA. So
Exactly.
what does that look like?
Well, you'll get product recommendations, of course,
What comes on?
but also editorial content,
Oh, interesting.
styling tips,
Okay.
even invitations to exclusive events.
Wow. They're really going all out.
Yeah, and it's all curated to match your interests.
It's like having a personal shopper, but for your inbox.
Exactly.
I love it.
And to make it even more personalized,
Okay.
Saks has this preference center.
What that?
You can go in and specify your favorite brands,
Oh, cool.
categories,
Got it.
even sizes.
Wow. So you're not just passively receiving recommendations.
Nope. Yeah.
You're actively shaping the experience.
Exactly. You're in the driver's seat.
I like that a lot.
And that seems to be like the overall theme here,
What do you mean?
Co-authorship.
Interesting.
Consumers, especially in the luxury space,
Yeah.
they want to be a part of shaping the brand narrative.
They're not just buying a product.
No, they're buying into a lifestyle.
And identity?
And brands are realizing they need to let go of some control.
Embrace this collaborative spirit.
Totally. Lydia Pang, she points to the rise of curated content on social media.
As evidence of this shift.
Yeah, people are being more careful about what they share.
How they interact with brands?
They're not just passive consumers of content anymore.
They want to be a part of the creative process.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Tell me more.
It's not just about the products anymore,
So what is it about?
It's about the stories behind the products,
Okay.
the experiences they represent,
Interesting.
the values they embody.
Makes sense.
The content that resonates with luxury consumers is evolving.
In what way?
It's not just glossy photo shoots anymore.
So what is it?
Live shopping experiences,
Okay.
influencer collaborations,
Interesting.
even lo-fi content.
Lo-fi content.
Yeah,
What's that all about?
it's about capturing attention and driving engagement.
And Saks is embracing all of this.
It seems like it.
Even the lo-fi stuff.
Yeah, they're giving more creative control to influencers.
Interesting.
It's like they're realizing they need to adapt
Experiment with different formats.
and let go of some of that preciousness around the brand.
So they're loosening up a bit.
Yeah, meeting the consumer where they are,
On their terms.
especially for younger generations.
Who are all about that raw and authentic aesthetic.
Exactly.
So how does all of this apply to the high net worth individuals?
Ah, the core of the luxury market.
Yeah. How is Saks catering to their specific needs?
Well, instead of waiting for customers to spend a ton of money before offering them perks,
Okay.
Saks is using data to identify high-value customers right away.
So they're like predicting who's going to be a big spender.
In a way, yeah, and then they're proactive about building relationships with them.
Like from the get-go.
Exactly, offering them elevated service,
Exclusive access.
personalized attention.
Wow. So it's not just about rewarding loyalty.
No.
It's about anticipating it
Yeah, and I bet that makes a big difference.
and how those customers feel.
Oh, absolutely. It makes them feel valued and appreciated.
Like they belong.
Exactly, a sense of belonging and exclusivity.
And that's key in the luxury market.
Definitely.
But it's not just about catering to their desire for luxury,
Right.
It's also about aligning with their values.
Totally. The video mentions that high net worth individuals are becoming more discerning.
More conscious of a brand's ethical practices.
Yes, and their impact on the world.
It's a shift towards conscious consumption.
Exactly.
So brands can't just focus on making beautiful, luxurious products anymore.
They need to think about their supply chains,
Their environmental impact,
their social responsibility.
but a whole new ballgame.
Lydia Pang, she actually said that the luxury brands that are winning right now
Are the ones who are trying to make a difference.
yeah, the ones that are trying to redesign and innovate the system from within.
So they're not just creating products.
They're creating change.
And that resonates with consumers who are looking for brands that are doing good.
It's about going beyond just the transaction.
Creating a deeper connection.
Exactly.
So with all this talk about data and technology,
Yeah.
how do brands actually create those genuine emotional connections in a digital world?
It's a tough question.
It seems like a paradox.
It is. But Saks is finding some creative solutions.
Like what?
Well, they're leveraging their stylist relationships.
To build those one-on-one connections.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're using personalized recommendations to surprise and delight customers.
Oh, like that.
And they're focusing on helping customers express themselves.
Through their fashion choices.
Exactly. So it's all about humanizing the digital experience.
Injecting that personal touch.
Making the customer feel seen and understood.
And the Saks stylists are actually trained to approach interactions with empathy,
Yeah, and a no judgment attitude.
recognizing that fashion choices are often tied to personal milestones.
Transitions in life.
They're not just selling clothes
No, they're helping customers navigate life.
with style and confidence.
That's where those real emotional connections happen.
It's about creating a space where you feel comfortable expressing yourself.
Exploring your personal style without fear of judgment.
And that's powerful.
It is.
It's about building a relationship that goes beyond just buying and selling.
It's about creating a community where people feel like they belong.
And that sense of belonging.
It's what ultimately drives loyalty.
And speaking of loyalty,
Ooh, good segue.
that's actually a perfect topic for after a quick break.
Sounds good to me.
We'll be right back.
So loyalty, it's not just about points and rewards anymore.
Right, those are kind of old school.
They still have their place, I guess.
Maybe.
But it takes more to win over today's luxury consumer.
Definitely, they're looking for something deeper.
Yeah, like that sense of community we were talking about.
Right, where they feel like
Yeah,
they belong.
like they share the brand's values.
Exactly.
Lydia Pang from the video, she had this interesting idea.
Oh yeah, what was it?
She thinks the future of loyalty is all about one-to-one interactions.
Okay, I can see that.
Think about it. You probably have your favorite local boutique.
Oh yeah, totally.
Maybe it's a bookstore or coffee shop.
I have a great little bakery I love.
Where you go, and you go there not just for the stuff they sell.
Right, this is the whole experience.
Exactly. The connection with the owner, you feel valued.
That's like you're part of something.
And imagine taking that feeling and scaling it up.
Globally.
Yeah, using Web3 communities.
Web3, everyone's talking about it.
I know, right? But it actually makes sense in this context.
How so?
It's about creating those exclusive spaces.
Where customers can connect with each other.
Not just the brand.
So it's like a digital version of your favorite local shop.
Exactly, but on a global scale.
Powered by technology.
The key, though, is using technology the right way.
What do you mean?
It's about enhancing that human connection, not replacing it.
So many brands get that wrong.
They think they can just throw some AI at it and call it a day.
But it's not that simple.
No, it's about creating a more human experience.
More personalized.
More engaged.
So what does all this mean for the listener?
Whether you're a luxury brand or just someone who appreciates the finer things in life.
There's some pretty universal takeaways here.
It's about embracing a more personalized approach.
Being authentic.
Collaborative.
Really listening to your audience.
And understanding their needs.
Creating experiences that actually resonate with them.
On an emotional level.
Building trust through transparency.
Using data to enhance the human element.
Not overshadow it.
Ultimately, it's about creating that sense of community.
Belonging.
The place where customers feel valued and connected.
It's about building genuine relationships.
Making people feel like they're part of something bigger.
And that's something we can all aspire to.
No matter what industry we're in.
Absolutely. And before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question.
Okay, hit me.
How can you, regardless of your industry or niche,
Yeah.
use data and technology to enhance the human element of your own business
Interesting.
and build deeper relationships with your audience?
It's a challenge worth exploring.
Think about those little aha moments,
The personalized touches.
the things that make your customers feel seen and understood.
Like you get them.
You appreciate them.
And it doesn't have to be anything crazy or expensive.
It's the thought that counts
And those thoughtful gestures, that's what builds loyalty.
in the long run.
It's what makes a brand stand out.
And it makes people feel good about doing business with you.
It's a win-win.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the future of luxury e-commerce,
Yeah.
I think the key takeaway is this.
Hit me.
The luxury consumer has evolved.
They have.
They're more discerning, more demanding, and more connected than ever before.
And the brands that will thrive.
They're the ones that embrace personalization, authenticity, and that genuine desire to connect.
On a human level.
It's about creating experiences that go beyond the transaction.
Fostering that sense of community and belonging.
Using data and technology in the right way.
To enhance, not replace the human element.
And remembering that luxury is about more than just expensive stuff.
Right.
It's about feeling good, expressing yourself, and connecting with something bigger.
So as you navigate your own digital journeys,
Whether you're a business owner, a marketer, or just a curious consumer,
keep these insights in mind.
embrace the power of personalization
Be authentic.
and seek out those brands and communities that make you feel valued.
Connected.
And if you found this deep dive into the world of smarter fashion tech useful,
Be sure to share it with a friend.
and don't forget to subscribe to The Deep Dive
for more insightful conversations like this one.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep learning.
See you next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is a lot to process.
I know, especially for brands, it's like this whole new world.
You're right. They have all these tools, but it's
Yeah.
also more complex than ever.
Consumers are savvy. They know what they want.
You mentioned Web3 earlier and how it could impact loyalty.
Yeah.
Do you see that happening soon, like in the real world?
Oh, it's already happening.
Really?
Yeah, brands are playing around with NFT memberships.
Oh, yeah, those are hot right now.
And they're creating these exclusive online communities.
I've seen a few of those.
Even virtual fashion shows are becoming a thing.
It's all about creating a more immersive experience.
And interactive.
For the listener, just a quick reminder, NFTs are those non-fungible tokens.
Right, the digital assets.
They can represent ownership of unique items or experiences.
And in fashion, we're seeing them everywhere.
Limited edition sneakers,
Virtual couture,
you name it.
and often these NFTs come with perks.
Like what?
Access to exclusive events,
Okay.
early access to new products,
Nice.
even voting rights on future designs.
Wow, so you really feel like you're a part of the brand.
It's a way to create that deeper sense of ownership.
Engagement with their most loyal customers.
Exactly.
So are we heading towards a future where luxury is less about physical stuff?
And more about these digital communities.
May.
It's hard to say for sure.
But it's definitely a possibility.
I think it'll be a mix of both. You know,
Like a hybrid.
exactly. The physical and digital worlds will blend together.
Creating these multi-dimensional experiences.
Imagine a handbag that comes with an NFT
Okay, I'm listening.
that unlocks exclusive content from the designer,
Oh, cool.
or a virtual fitting room experience.
That's wild.
It's about creating a richer experience.
And that's what luxury is all about, right?
Creating experiences that are truly special.
That make you feel like you're a part of something bigger.
And that brings us back to our sponsor for this deep dive.
Floatfit.ai.
They're all about using AI to help brands create those aha moments.
Those personalized touches that make customers feel seen.
Understood.
It's about using technology to enhance the human element.
Not replace it.
And if you're in the fashion tech space, you should definitely check them out.
It's cloutfit.ai, spelled CLOUTFIT.ai.
They're doing some amazing things.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
It feels like we've covered a lot.
we have.
The biggest takeaway for me is this.
Let's hear it.
The future of luxury is all about connection.
Connection between brands and consumers.
Connection between consumers themselves.
Connection between the physical and digital worlds.
It's about creating experiences that are personalized,
Authentic.
emotionally resonant,
It's about building communities and fostering belonging.
and using technology in a way that enhances the human element.
And never forgets that luxury is about more than just things.
It's about feeling good expressing yourself and connecting with something bigger.
So if you found this episode of the Fashion Algorithm useful,
Please share it with someone who might appreciate it.
and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives.
Into the world of fashion tech.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep learning.
See you next week.